Last year, Stoy Pedals sent me a bunch of products to demo, and one of those products that they sent me was the Collector, which is their 2-channel loop switcher. I had mentioned in that video that that loop switcher was so impressive. In fact, it reminded me a lot of this like really advanced AB Morley switch. This is an AB box, and essentially what it does is allow you to have one input and be able to go into 2 separate outputs. You can either share the outputs together and have them both on, or you can AB the signal, which is really, really great. But the Collector takes that to a completely different level. Yes, I have the ability to actually A-B something because it has 2 separate outputs, but I can also now loop in signals as well. So I immediately started incorporating this product into my rig and using it every single day. They have made it possible with the Collector to actually get this rig put together and have it logistically work. So one of the first things I did was buy this 4-inch wide Velcro so that I could turn the top of the rack unit into a pedal board essentially. So I used the soft side of the Velcro so I could successfully mount pedals, especially with pedals with Velcro onto here, and create mini pedal boards or put temporary pedal boards together depending on the video that I'm working on. Then when it came down to actually piecing everything together, the Stoy Collector came in clutch. So the first thing I'm doing is plugging my guitar input, my runway audio cable, in the input of the first looper here. And then in loop 1, I've titled it Demos. That loop has these patch cables always ready to go, so I could just plug it into a pedal like the one I'm showcasing right here, right now, to be able to run into the looper, and I can now run that pedal through any one of the rigs that I have set up here. Loop 2 is called My Rig. That's my pedal board here, which is not only my pedal board and my personal effects and overdrives and compression, so on and so forth, but it also has the HX Stomp on there, so I could easily access all of my amp settings and effects to be able to run these products through. This input and output go to a patch bay that's mounted on the back of the rack, and that patch bay then is fed into the Audition pedal on my pedal board. So that allows me to now place this pedal in my rig after compression, before effects, so that I can successfully demo a product that way as well. We then have the ability to choose what output I want to feed. So I can choose this output here, which is now titled EQP, and that goes to my EQP KT. That's the Clark Tennant Pultic style EQ. Now it's not a pre, but I do use it when I record bass. So I will dial in a bass amp on my HX Stomp and then simply feed into that EQ so that I can use it to kind of EQ the bass and round it out very, very nicely. But most of the time it's on output A, which is called link. And that just means I'm actually linking it to the next collector. So from the link out, it goes into link here, which is basically guitar in. And then we have 2 more loops here. And then we can go into the pod go, which is also stationed right here, easily accessible. Or we can go into, for example, the Matribox 2 by Sonic Cake, which is easily accessible right there. After that, we then have the ability to again choose 2 separate outputs, right? We can go into either the amp right here, which I could then plug a 1/4-inch cable out of that going into one of the amps here in my studio, or I can go to the WA output, which is short for that warm audio EQ pre. Then we have these tuner out portions on both of the collectors. That allows me to then feed a tuner like, for example, this rock stock mini tuner right here, and have it on all the time and not have it affect my signal in any kind of way. So it's not within the loop. Then the other tuner out I'm using as a direct out. I can go out of the tuner out directly into my DAW, allowing me to simultaneously record a clean signal unaffected by any of my effects, as well as the affected signal. There's one thing I want to say about the collector, and this is my honest opinion. Setting it up was so easy. Like, it made my vision a reality and also didn't make it complicated. There are a lot of different ways I could have approached this system or this kind of a setup. I think this was, number one, the most a cost-effective way, and also the easiest way, and also the cleanest way. Because it is a looper, that means that when something is not engaged, when a loop is not engaged, it's essentially saving my tone, right? Retaining my tone, because it's pulling both the effect and its cable length out of the chain. I just want to quickly show you how easily I can go back and forth through all of these rigs just by pressing a switch. So for example, my rig is currently engaged. Let's hear that. Since I have this brand new Night School Catalan Bred overdrive, let's throw it on, see what it sounds like. Alright, so now let's quickly take that rig off and throw on the Pod Go and see what that sounds like. I'll pull it out so you can see it engaged here. Alright, that's the Pod Go. Let's pull out the Matribox Sonny Cake. Well, the Matribox by Sonny Cake, sorry. And just like that, we shut it off. And the cool thing is, again, clean signal is still passing through. So that's my guitar going directly into my interface with no amps in between. But we could just throw on an amp really quickly and have my